shut off your video. And of course, I will, when everyone else is talking or someone else is talking, I should say, you'll be muted like you see there, okay? Let me unmute you now. And let me go ahead and turn off all the other cameras. I'm gonna leave the mics on. So therefore, when I get ready to bring you on, I will say something like, let me invite Lori to the stage, and then see, you'll get a request there to turn your video on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead and click it on. Okay, and then I will unmute you and I'll introduce you. I will say something like, Lori Seitz is with us today. She's a network strategy coach, and she's going to be talking to us today about the power of gratitude. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then our second speaker will be Marguerite. There she goes. There, good. And then when I get ready to introduce you, I will say our next speaker is Marguerite Crespillo. Marguerite Crespillo. She'll be talking. She is a business and relationship mentor and coach. She's going to be talking to us today about the 100 things I love about you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And finally, I'm going to bring on Marjorie here. There we go. Hey, good. Our next speaker will be Marjorie Momperus. She's a spiritual wellness coach. She's going to be talking to us today about the power of positivity and empowerment to encourage creativity, especially during these down times. And then as soon as I get done introducing you, I will say, Marguerite or whoever's speaking there, I've introduced, I'll stop my video. I'll say, the stage is yours. Notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop my video. And you see me cut off my mic. After I say the stage is yours, you remain quiet until I cut those off, because therefore we'll be able to take your presentation and isolate it without me being there. It'll just be you on your virtual stage. And the same thing at the very end. I will give you, if you see your chat box, open your chat box. I'm going to put something here to all panelists. I'll do something like 3 minutes. Do you see that in the chat box?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. That will be your cue. You got 3 minutes left. Then I will do 2 minutes and then 1 minute.
And we're going about 15 minutes each, or how long?
Yeah, at 15 minutes, I'll be giving the 3 minute sign. If you go a little less than that, that's no problem. We've had some people speak 7, 8, 9 minutes, I think, and some people go up to about 17 minutes. So, just get your message over. The reason for the 3 minutes is because that's the way we do the radio show. We know we get caught up in the talking and all that, and we're going to go to commercials, so they got to give us a sign. So that's what we do there. And so when you get done with your talking, your presentation, you just have to say, thank you very much, appreciate it. And, then you remain quiet. That'd be my cue to turn my video back on like this here and unmute myself, come back and say, thank you so much for being with us today. And I will say something like, would you be kind enough to share with us your email address for people to get in touch with you and your website? And then you give that information, and I'll say goodbye to you. And that's any questions?
No questions.
Okay, when I open up the show, I'm going to take the first minute and a half, and I'm going to go through Speakers Pathway Coalition, and I'm going to show what we have there as far as free gifts, no sales pitches or anything like that. But at the final stage of what I'm going to show is the messages of inspiration, hope, and support. And you'll be able to see how you're going to be presented there. Your picture, when they click on it, it's going to be your video. It's on YouTube, and it's going to be a little spill about you. So that's why we want it to be quiet right before you start talking and right afterwards. That way we get a clean snapshot of your presentation. So that's the way we roll here.
All right, I'm going stealth. John, I think Jim, you guys are all in great hands. lots of good energy today. You know, people need to hear some positivity, some fun, some laughter. And I'm going to go lurk elsewhere. All right.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Don.
Bye, Dawn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll see you a little later, brother.
All right.
I need to cut on a little bit of a light there and let me go put myself under the spotlight like that. Boom. We'll turn on one of the lights in here. I normally don't use lights, but on camera I will.
Nice to meet all you ladies.
Yeah, nice to meet y'all.
Yes. I'm so excited. I was happy that I got teamed with the two of you. So much love and light.
Yeah,
I'm definitely excited.
I am excited and hot. So I want to get, I didn't want to turn the
Yeah.
air on because I didn't want to hear the background noise.
You can
You
go and
probably, I have the air, can you hear the air going
Oh.
on in my house? Because I have mine on.
No,
You might be fine.
yeah. It's 15 minutes. I'll be hot.
Yeah.
Smoking.
Yeah.
trying to get it to where you can see my color, but it's too bright. Oh, look at that.
There you go.
Now you can see, and as soon as the sun comes back, it's too bright.
So you know you can change your virtual background behind you too.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
what I did. See what I have behind me?
How did you do that?
If you actually go to where it says video in the lower left-hand corner, it'll say stop video. You click on the little arrow to the right of where it says stop video, it'll say choose
Virtual.
background. And you can go upload any image you want. So I actually have a green screen, but you don't have to have a green screen.
Oh, that's dope.
Just choose an image. So if you have that, whatever it was you had behind you, I can't see it, but
Chakra.
you have that in an image, then you can put it on your virtual background.
That is definitely interesting. Let's see.
Let me do one thing. I'll be right back.
Okay. I do have photos.
What's that?
I do have photos.
It would be one of your photos. I mean, you can always go find an image too if you don't have it, but Google search or something. That's all I did. That's just an image behind me.
That is so dope. I didn't know that. And I've been using Zoom for some time.
It's
And
pretty new. It's a pretty new.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't
Yeah,
think they
you're
had that for a
right.
long time.
There you go. Yeah, it's a pretty new feature. So, and I bought this green screen. You can't really see the green screen, but I bought it's like $100. I bought it on Amazon or something, and it just kind of pops up, so you can pop it up and put it behind you. Because my office is a disaster zone back here. You can see.
that is awesome.
Yeah, I got windows behind me and stuff, but that's cool.
You can. I was
Yeah.
just telling them you can choose to put a virtual background behind yourself that is
Yeah.
your speaker logo if you want, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I've tried that before, but it kind of makes my head gets a little distorted in it. You know, looks like
Yeah, it
my
does kind of sometimes do.
yeah.
things.
And people might think, knowing me, that might be normal. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut the cameras off and mute everybody. And now at 11 o'clock, or we got about a minute and a half to go, at the top of the air, I'm going to kick it off, and then I'll bring on Lori, and the rest of you just be muted, and your camera will be off, but you can hear. We'll
Okay.
catch you on the flip side soon. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jim Grant. Welcome to another episode of Messages of Inspiration, Hope, and Support. We are sponsored by SpeakersPathway.com. Is it okay if I share a little bit about SpeakersPathway.com and show you where you can get some free gifts along the way? Let me share my screen with you, if I may, please. At SpeakersPathway.com, we have a whole bunch of information there free for you, especially if you're home right now and you want to do some things. We got TEDx training, we got complimentary gifts. Let me move my clipboard here and go on down. We got all of these speakers there, or we're putting on speakers every day, messages of inspiration, hope, and support. And Don also offers his free complimentary course to grow your business through speaking. And this is some of the topics that our members enjoy. And that's the crew right there. But anyway, going to the TEDx talk, this is very popular. If you click on that, you can see where Don will offer his 5 simple steps to a kick butt TED talk. Also, you can get your free course to get how to grow your business through the speaking. That's a free course that we offer you there. Complimentary gifts. Each one of our executive training directors offers a free complimentary gift. There's no strings attached. You can see Dr. Sony Jackson there, a content checklist for converting strangers to clients. Tamara Hunter, for example, she has a celebration journal for cancer sufferers and other diseases. She's a cancer survivor. And Dustin Matthews, how to get out of debt, boost your active income, and start investing in passive income. Preston Martelli, he'll do a complimentary brand audit and how to give you 90 action steps to get you to the next level. But also to all of our speakers, they're on the Messages of Inspiration and Hope webpage there, part of us. And you can see some of them here. And we have, we're adding more. We got about 10 per page. We got another page here and a third page and so forth. But let's just say if you click on, let's just say this lady right here, you can actually listen to her presentation right there. And this will tell you a little bit about Gloria. So those are some of the things that we offer here at SpeakersPathway.com. And our very first speaker today, let me open up the, turn on her camera and unmute her mic and welcome her to the show. I'm going to ask you to start your video there. Our first speaker will be Lori Seitz. There she is. Let me make you the spotlight. There we go. Hi, Lori. How you doing today?
Hi, doing well, thanks.
Good, good. You are a networking strategy coach, and you're going to be talking to us about the power of gratitude?
Yes.
Good, good. Let me cut off my camera and mute my mic because the stage is yours.
Have you ever wondered how some people remain calm and grounded amidst chaos? In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to share with you how to stay centered no matter what's going on around you. This concept is powerful. It can change your whole outlook on life. It's simple and it's easy, which begs the question, why isn't everyone tapping into it? And I don't have an answer for that. We can't control what other people do. We can only control what we do. Actually, so let's start from there. Actually, let's start with a confession. I started my first business based completely on the concept of gratitude and appreciation. And yet, I wasn't a very grateful person. I was focused on what I couldn't do, what I didn't have, what wasn't working. One day I was talking with my friend and mentor, Paul Martinelli, going on and on and on about the not working story du jour. And he said to me, Lori, you know that book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles? He said, chapter 7 is on gratitude. You need to read that chapter every day, twice a day for the next 30 days. Read it once in the morning and once at night before you go to sleep for the next 30 days. I said, Okay, all right, I'm up for that challenge. Here are a few lines from that book, from that chapter too. Many people who order their lives rightly in all other ways are kept in poverty by their lack of gratitude. But the value of gratitude does not consist solely in getting more blessings in the future. Without gratitude, you cannot long keep from dissatisfied thought regarding things as they are. Faith is born of gratitude. The grateful mind continually expects good things, and expectation becomes faith. Good stuff here. So I did Paul's challenge. Miraculously, on the 30th day, I got a call from an editor at Oprah's magazine, and she wanted to put my product, the gratitude cookie, in Oprah's favorite things section. How awesome is that? Can you believe it? Well, don't, because that call never came. No, in reality, nothing all that amazing or noticeable happened. In fact, it wasn't until I really I didn't really notice a difference until several months later. We were living in South Florida. My husband and I were driving home from Thanksgiving dinner at my friend Tim's house in Miami. It was about 90 miles up I-95. We were almost home, and smoke started pouring out the front of my car. I managed to pull off the highway at the nearest exit and get into a gas station that was right there. I called roadside assistance and they sent a tow truck. But it was late on Thanksgiving night, so it took a couple hours for them to show up. Now, normally, I would have gone into a rant. I can't believe this is happening. This sucks. Why is this happening to me? Have you ever been there? Come on, don't tell me you haven't been there. Instead, though, I went immediately to gratitude. Thank goodness we are only 5 miles from home. And thank goodness I was close to an exit. And thank goodness this gas station was open, and so on. Finally, my personal values matched the business value I was promoting. Coming back to Oprah Winfrey, she is quoted as saying, "Be thankful for what you have, you'll end up having more. If you don't concentrate, or if you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough." People are looking around right now and seeing all that they've lost. Money, jobs, freedom. It's hard. And if you're watching the news or spending a lot of time on social media, you're seeing the situation get worse every day. Here's how to quickly find your way back to happiness. Gratitude. Robert Emmons is a well-known gratitude researcher. He's conducted many studies on the link between gratitude and well-being. And his research confirms that gratitude increases happiness and reduces depression. It is scientifically proven that gratitude can help boost our happiness and our health. It sounds too simplistic, right? I mean, a lot of times, humans want to make things more complicated than they need to be. But really, it's as easy as when you have a negative thought, when you think something that doesn't feel good, catch yourself and think something you're grateful for. We cannot feel more than one emotion at a time. So if you're feeling anxious or afraid or worried, notice that and immediately bring to mind something you feel grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything monumental. It can be as simple as, I'm grateful to have a roof over my head today. I'm grateful I have my hearing. I'm grateful I have one roll of toilet paper. Whatever it is, you can come up with one thing. If you want, go ahead and challenge yourself and come up with 5 or 10 things. Here's an exercise for you. Find a gratitude buddy and email each other every day what you're grateful for. Do an online search for journal prompts so that you don't end up saying the same thing over and over again every day and you're stuck in a rut. A couple I recommend are, what are 5 personality traits that you're most thankful for? And list 5 things you love about your home. Gratitude is the catalyst for happiness. When you break down all the emotions that we can have, it really comes down to only 2. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross talked about this. Love and fear. All the other emotions come underneath one of those. Think about that for a moment. On the negative side, you've got despair, powerlessness, anger, worry, doubt. On the positive side, you have optimism, hopefulness, enthusiasm, joy, and gratitude. Love is the most powerful emotion, and gratitude is a form of love. So if you can catch yourself stuck in one of the more negative emotions, spinning around and around and around in worry, know that you can flip the script like this, simply by tapping into gratitude. Being grateful is not at all about feeling lucky because you have more or better than someone else. It's not, I appreciate my health because other people are sick. It's not about comparison. Gratitude is a feeling of appreciation and joy for simply having the thing, no matter what that thing is. Whether it's your eyesight or a pet or a new car, what you are grateful for is not as important as that you are grateful. That you live in this state of constant appreciation. That you can find the good and the gratitude in every situation. I hear you right now saying, yeah, that's great in theory, but, okay, here's a way you can develop that gratitude muscle. Pay attention to your complaining. No doubt, you've heard you become what you think about. If you're complaining all the time, you're attracting more things to complain about. T. Harv Eker says, when you complain, you become a crap magnet. Complaints and gratitude don't fit in the same box. Start noticing what you're complaining about and notice the cycle of complaining going on around you. I don't have, I just need, I can't believe they didn't do whatever. Once you tune into it, you'll be astounded at how much complaining you hear. Not just from other people. You might think you're pretty good at staying above the fray, but listen to not only what comes out of your mouth, listen also to what's going on in your mind. How often are you silently complaining in your head? Pay attention and make note of that so you can stop it, so you can flip to gratitude. Feeling gratitude is vitally important to happiness. In addition to feeling gratitude, there's another side to it. And that side is sharing your gratitude. Are there people in your life you're grateful for? Do they know you appreciate them? What about the people you're not quarantined with? Your friends, clients, mentors from back in the day? Please don't assume they know. Several years ago, I read John Kralick's book, 365 Thank Yous. The year a simple act of daily gratitude changed my life. In that book, John shares how his life was in a shambles. He was at rock bottom. And he got the idea to start writing one thank you note a day to anyone who had ever done anything nice for him. From teachers to neighbors to the handyman. Every day for a year. Incredibly, almost like magic, his life and his luck started to change. Not overnight, just like my story a few minutes ago. not instantaneously, but still miraculously. When you share the gratitude you feel for others, not only do you feel good, you help them feel good. After I read John's book, I decided to take up the challenge and do the same thing. I kept a spreadsheet of people, both so that I could keep track of who I had sent to and I could add people to the list as I thought of them. These were all handwritten, stamped, mailed notes sent to anyone who had contributed to my life ever, provided I could find a mailing address for them. I was never able to find one for my 6th grade teacher, Mr. Sigalski, who was the first person to see leadership potential in me. And he made me captain of the safety patrols. So here's my public thank you to Mr. Sigalski. Now is the perfect time to engage in this exercise. As of this moment, the post office is still operating. Now, even if you can't or you don't want to put a note in the mail during this time, you can still write one every day. You can start creating a list and start writing and then mail them after all this is over, which it will be because this too shall pass. What you don't want to let pass is the opportunity to let others know how much you appreciate them. As I was putting together this presentation, I remembered how I used to send out a weekly email with an inspirational quote and a story or an interpretation of that quote, maybe with some uplifting commentary on current events. And it seems like a good time to start doing that again. So if you like this idea, drop a comment in the comment section here, or go to zenrabbit.com//wisdom to sign up. And it's free. I'll put a link in the comment section for that too. Okay, so let's close with a recap of your action steps. 1, when you notice yourself feeling anxious or afraid or worried, or if you find yourself criticizing, immediately bring to mind something you're grateful for. Number 2, find a gratitude buddy and email each other every day what you're grateful for. Number 3, start writing notes of appreciation to people in your life now as well as in your past. And as I just mentioned, number 4, go to zenrabbit.com/wisdom to sign up for the weekly Zen Rabbit Wisdom. The simple concept of gratitude is powerful. Use it to stay centered and grounded, regardless of what you see going on around you. In the wise words of Wayne Dyer, the universe provides abundantly when you are in a state of gratefulness. Back to you, Jim.
Oh, thank you. I was waiting for you to say something else there, but I didn't want to cut you off there. Thank you so very much for sharing that. I really love what you say there about the 2 major energies there. One is, love, and the other one, of course, is, that's in the physical. That's what enslaves you, because that's where your worries come from. And in the physical, you cannot really control all of that, but you can control your mind. You can control your outlook. And like I tell people, many times, I wake up in the morning, and this may sound kind of corny, but I thank the Creator for having heartbeat in my veins and breath in my lungs. And that's a sign for me to get up and to be able to do something positive and to share my blessing with others. And in closing, I'd just like to say that, look at your thumbprint, because that's how specially created you were. No one else has your thumbprint. And our mission in life is to be able to share our imprint and leave an imprint on people. And I want to thank you so much for being with us today. Your powerful message. I mean, fear and love. I mean, you hit the nail right there on the head. I really enjoy that. But before you go, would you be kind enough to share your email address, how people can get in touch with you, and your website, please?
Certainly. My email address is Lori. It's LORI @zenrabbit.com. And the website is zenrabbit.com.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate you sharing your message with us, and hope you have a wonderful day. And thanks again, Lori. We'll talk with you soon.
My pleasure.
And let me just mention that Lori is going to be also with the other speakers on the messages of inspiration, hope, and support. And let me, there we go. And our next speaker, I want to introduce this young lady, Marguerite Crespillo. Let me turn on her camera there and invite her to the show and give her a chance to share her wonderful message. And Marguerite, are you there? There she is. Let me make you the spotlight there. Let's see, you are a business and relationship mentor and coach. That's correct, right?
Yes, I'm
And
here.
good. And your message today is going to be, oh, I like this here. 100 things I love about you. Is it okay if I make notes and tell my wife about this?
Absolutely. I'm sure you're going to want to take a few notes.
You bet. Let me cut off my video here and mute my mic because Marguerite, the stage is yours.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm really honored and excited to talk. You know, we are definitely in turbulent times, and a lot of talk is brought on about finances and, you know, stress and homeschooling and a million things. And one thing that hasn't really been talked a whole lot about is relationships and what might be going on the home front. You know, I will tell you that I have been with my husband now 34 years. Our 29th wedding anniversary is coming up on May 4th. And we've been through some rough times, like many. And for a lot of people, they're dealing with all of the craziness that's going on in the world, and they're trying to find their way. And maybe you're even spending more time with your significant other or spouse than you ever have, right? And that might even be getting a little bit rough out there. You know, I've heard lots of comments about if we survive this, will marriages survive? There'll be either more divorces or more babies coming up, one of the two, I don't know. But I wanted to talk a little bit about my story that hopefully can inspire and influence you to take a good long look at your relationship. As I mentioned, my husband and I have been together for a long time, and we've been through just about every tragedy and crisis that you could possibly imagine, including the death of our son, Jordan, who died when he was 10 years old of a genetic disease. And, you know, everybody has their own way of grieving, and some people grieve certain ways and other ways. There's no right or wrong. It's just different in a lot of ways. And most marriages don't survive the death of a child. And so a combination of a couple things happened. Not only did we lose our child, and we both, again, had different ways of grieving. My husband had shortly before our son passed away also lost his job where he had been for quite a few years. He was an upper level management at a bank, and they were cutting back, and he was one of the top people to go. So the combination of him losing his job and losing his son was a lot, and for both of us, not only personally, but in our relationship. And so when it came to grieving, he pretty much went a little bit more solo. He went into his own space and didn't talk a lot like many times people do. I myself went to work. I just buried my head in the sand and plowed through and went to work. And so a short time after that, we started really looking at our relationship. We were obviously having a very difficult time. This was in the late 99, 2000, trying to sort everything out. We had now been married about 8 years or so, 8 or 9 years, and we also had 2 young children at home. We had Jacob and John, who were, I think, 2 and 3 at the time. And it happened one day. I woke up, I rolled over, and I looked at him and I said, today is the day. Today, we are either going to a counselor or an attorney, one of the two, and you choose. And I don't know how many of you have been in a similar place in your marriage or relationship where you just, in your mind, we're done. You're like, I'm going to move on. I'm going to go find another spouse, or I might just be better off by myself right now, right? But that day, I was done. I was like, today's the day. We need to make a decision one way or another. And luckily, my husband is a smart man, and he made an appointment with a counselor. And for any of you who have been through marriage therapy or marriage counseling, you typically will go to the first appointment and they will ask you, hey, why are you here? Well, his answer was, because she made me, which obviously that answer did not go over very well. And so we both had this conversation. I said, if you don't want to be here, you don't need to be here, but you can make another decision to go to an attorney. Well, I will tell you that we decided to go back to the second appointment. And at the second appointment, we looked at the counselor, and he basically wanted to know a little bit about our background and our experience and what our families were like. And we came from very different relationships. My husband, Joe, was from an old Spanish family who had been married for many, many years, and he was a late in life child, a surprise, you could say, or a bonus. And so he was basically a only child, really. He had 7 brothers and sisters, but they were all considerably older than him. And myself, I had come from a family of divorce. My mother had been divorced a few times. And it was just very different. I didn't have any very good role models or any paths to follow, right? So we both came from these very diverse backgrounds and trying to figure out what was the best way for us to make our relationship work or figure out what we were going to do. The third appointment, we went back separately so he could talk to us separately and help figure out what we could do. And I went into the appointment and he said, well, it looks like you've done a lot of counseling and therapy. What I want to know is, are you actually done? Are you willing to give it one more shot? And I said, well, I'm not really sure the answer to that, but I'm willing to give it one more shot. And I remember him saying, I would like you to make a list of the things that you love about him. And I said, I've already done that pros and cons list. And right now, pros are way below the cons. I'm not sure I could come up with a list. He said, no, I don't want you to write any of the cons. You probably got that down. What I would like you to do is to make a list of the things that you love about him. And he goes, I'm assuming that you're a little bit competitive, so why don't you put a number on that list? And I said, okay, I'm not sure if I can even come up with one, but tell you what, I'll make it a goal to make it 100. Well, I left that appointment, and I will tell you that it took me several days before I could write down anything. I was so frustrated and chagrined and upset. And after a few days, I actually started to write down a couple things. Like, my husband makes me tea every morning and puts it next to my bed, whether I'm nice to him or not. He is a great dad. He is funny. He's entertaining. Everybody loves Joe. He is always kind. No one has a bad thing to say about him, and he rarely has a bad thing to say about anyone else. He is very inspiring and thoughtful and very considerate. And I just started to make this list. Well, I'll be really honest. I only made it to 45 on the list. I did not make it to 100. But when our wedding anniversary came up that day, I gave that list to him. And I will tell you that it made a huge difference in our relationship. Here's another little secret I will tell you, is that Joe did not really change a thing during that time. He didn't change anything. The only thing that changed was my perspective, my view. You know, it's funny in life because even during times of crisis like this, many times we have a tendency to focus on all the stuff that's going wrong, all the horrible things that are happening, all the bad stuff that's happening. And like Lori was saying earlier in her talk, many of us forget to focus on the good and what is going on. And so I'll tell you that I actually took the time to sit down and take that list, and I laminated it and gave it to him as a gift. And I bring that list out frequently, many times when I'm having a rough day or a rough time. And so I really encourage you to take some time to write down the things that you love about them, because right now, more than ever, relationships are struggling. People are struggling in their relationships. We are dealing with financial crisis, which is one of the number one reasons that many people go through divorce. We're dealing with stress of jobs, maybe job loss. We're trying to deal with children at home and trying to figure out how to homeschool them and how to keep everything going on. And somewhere in there, trying to take care of ourselves. And what is probably getting pushed to the very bottom of your list is your relationship. And so I'll tell you a few ideas that we came up with in our relationship to try to just kind of keep the love alive and keep the spice going. First of all, we made the decision to alternate whose year it was to plan our wedding anniversary. So how many of you have a wedding anniversary coming up or a special day, whatever that is, and that day comes up and you kind of look at each other and you're like, what do you want to do? Oh, I don't know. What do you want to do? Do you want to go out to dinner? Oh, yeah, I guess. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? We've all had that conversation, right? And at the end, you're just like, whatever you want to do, let's just do it. Which now makes your anniversary not a very special occasion, but more of a stressor, right? Or maybe it's a situation where one of you is always responsible for the anniversary. Well, what we decided to do on our 9th anniversary is, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions and comments on this, is we made the decision to alternate whose year it was to plan. So for 1 year, he gets to plan, and 1 year I get to plan. So for our 9th anniversary, we started this. And our 9th anniversary, he did 9 of something every day for 9 days leading up to our anniversary, right? And so then for the 10th, now I had to outdo him because I'm competitive. So now I did a scavenger hunt. And each year it has become really fun. It's become something we look forward to. It's become something that we get excited about. Now I will tell you, we've had to create a couple rules. And one of those rules is you can include friends in the ideas and suggestions, but you cannot bring them along. Okay. In other words, if you're going away for a weekend or you're going on a vacation or whatever it is, you're not supposed to bring friends. This is time for you. And the other rule is if it's your turn to plan, it has to be all about them, okay? Meaning that it has to be all about the other person. So if it's your year to plan and you love golf, it cannot be about golfing. It's got to be whatever the other person loves to do. And what I've found is that everyone starts to get excited about their wedding anniversary again and making it something special and something that you can do that becomes a little more exciting and a little more adventurous, right? And I'll tell you that if you are one who is waiting for the other one to figure it out, I encourage you to be the first, make the first step, really reach out and talk and look at ways that you can be kind to the other person. You know, there was a great quote. Let me see. There's a couple great quotes that I pulled up this morning, but one of them is a strong marriage rarely has two strong people at the same time. It is one or the other who take turns being strong for each other in moments when the other feels weak, right? And so many times we get so focused on what we want the other one to do, but we're not doing the things that we need to do to make that relationship thrive. You know, the sun doesn't sit there and wait for you to say something before the sun shines. It shines on you no matter what, right? And so what are you currently doing in your relationship? And maybe this is not necessarily a marriage. Maybe this is a relationship with friends or people you care about or a work relationship. But for many of us, we get so consumed and tied up with making it all about us. And we forget that it's so important and vitally important that you reach out and do what you can to do things for the other, right? There's always that famous lesson, give more than you take. And sometimes we get into that place where we're like, I've given enough. I've done more than he ever did. It's his turn. I'm going to sit around and wait. And the reality is that the more that you find ways, it's like this kind of, what is that? This like place where you get stuck. And you're both getting stubborn and you're both saying, I'm not going to do anything until he does it. I'm not going to do anything until she does it. I'm going to sit, and you become at a standstill, right? And what you have to remember many times is what is most important, being right or the relationship? Because it's very easy to get caught up in being right. Well, it's his turn. It's her turn. I've done this way too many times. And if you will take the time to sit down and make a list of the things that you love about them, if you will sit down and make a list of the things that you would love to do, what I encourage you to do is you will start to see how that changes the way you think and it changes the way that you look at your relationship. And so if you're looking at action steps, what is something you could do today, right now, that will change your relationship? It could be something very small. I know finances are tough, My favorite thing are love letters. Have you written a love letter? Have you taken and made a note and put it up, a sticky note somewhere around that they can see? Have you done anything special for them today? Don't wait for them to do something special for you. What is something you can actually do that is special for them? You know, every relationship goes through its challenges, and now we're coming up on 34 years, and I will not say that it has been easy. I will not say that it has been over the moon, fantastic all the time. We have good days and we have bad days. And many times, if you are keeping score of what you do for them, what you will find is that you will score yourself right out of the relationship. And so take some time today. I encourage you to take a couple minutes and make this list. And if you want to share it with me, I would love for you to share it with me. If you want to write ideas in the comments of the things that you love about them, I encourage you to do that. I know that I am working on finishing up my book with my very, very good friend, Sean. I know I've been talking about it forever, but we've both committed to getting it done, our book on the 100 Things I Love About You. So if you would like to follow me or pay attention to that, you can follow me on social media. You can always head over to margueritecrespillo.com, where I'll be posting stuff here shortly about what is coming up with it. But today is the day. Don't put this off. Don't wait for them to do something. What can you do today to change the trajectory of your relationship? What is something that you could say or do or interact with or make a list or create a love letter? But these are just a few of the things that we have done over the years that have really changed the way our relationship. As I mentioned earlier, I come from a mother who was married many times, and I really wanted, more importantly, to not have that be my path. And not that there's anything wrong, people go through divorces for a variety of reasons. But what I will tell you is that most marriages, in my opinion, can be saved if people took a few minutes to remember why they fell in love to begin with. Why did you fall in love with your husband or spouse or significant other or wife? What was it that you fell in love? You know, I'll wrap this up by telling you my favorite toilet paper analogy of a relationship. When you first meet somebody and the toilet paper, well, we're short on toilet paper now, is turned the wrong way, right? You go and you go, oh, that's so cute how they turned the toilet paper the wrong way. And after you've been together about a year or so, you try to explain to them why they should do it your way. And you try to do it politely, right? After you've been together about 7 or 8 years, you're like, could you just put the roll on the way I want? It's the only thing I care about, right? And then after you've been together for 10 years or so, you're like, forget it, I'll do it myself. Well, the truth is there are so many things that you fell in love with in the beginning. And Tony Robbins says it best. If you do what you did in the beginning, there will be no end, right? My husband, who's a comedian, loves to say, he says, when we first got together, she laughed at everything. Now she says, everything's a dang joke to you, right? So I hope that this has been helpful. I would love to hear your stories of what is working or not working in your relationship. Please follow me on social media. Please head on over. I do have a Facebook page called 100 Things I Love About You. I'd love for you to like and follow me over there. Or you can head to my website at margueritecrespillo.com and add your name to my list. I'll be sending stuff out here shortly on the 100 Things I Love About You. But I would love to hear your stories. And thank you so much for allowing me to share my story with you today. Thanks again. All right, Jim, back to you.
Wow, that was a very powerful message that you shared with us. You had me when you talked about losing your son. We lost a daughter early on, and I think we would have both of us would have benefited greatly by that if we would have went to counseling, but we just kind of like went our own way and, we made it, But also, too, I want to thank you for, so many times when people are arguing, they're not really trying to solve the problem. They're trying to win their side of the argument.
Absolutely.
And it's very important just to take a deep breath and relax. And I like that old song from 1969 by Joe South, Walk a Mile in My Shoes Before You Criticize and Accuse. That's a great song. And I use it a lot as an analogy because so many times in life we get caught up in the process rather than the content of what we're wanting to do. And your message is so powerful. Again, before you leave, please share your email address, how people can get in touch with you, also your web address, and spell the last name, please, for them.
I will. And I have a long name. I apologize. It's 19 letters, but my web address is margueritecrespillo.com. Hopefully you can see it here spelled up there. My email address is marguerite@margueritecrespillo.com. And it's MARGUERITE. My last name is spelled CRESPILLO.
Thank you again for your wonderful message, and we just appreciate you being here. And again, ladies and gentlemen, her presentation will be at speakerspathway.com. Just click on just go to the homepage and scroll down a little bit. You'll see the messages of inspiration, of hope, and support, and you'll be able to share Marguerite's message with others. Thank you again for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. You really made this show great. Let me mute her and change over the spotlight here. And our third speaker today is a young lady by the name of Marjorie Momperus. I may have mispronounced that, I don't know, but she is a spiritual. Let me cut on her camera so you can see this lovely young lady and unmute her. And let's see. Can you cut your camera on there, please? Let's see here. Marguerite?
I think
Let's see. I'm trying to get her cut on there. Unmute. We may have a delay there. Okay. There she is. There she is. Hello. I was working those buttons, and of course, being on the radio, we have a producer that does all that techie stuff for me, so I really appreciate him. But Marguerite, welcome to the show. I want to share a little bit about you, if I may. You are a spiritual wellness coach. And in addition to that, today you're going to be talking to us about the power of positivity and empowerment to encourage creativity during these dark and down and troubled times. We're so glad that you're with us today. Please let me stop my video here, cut off my camera, and mute my mic. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I am excited to be a part of the Speaker Coalition. Well, the video might have cut off. Hold on, we're back. We are here. Thank you. I am a positive Nelly is what I've been told. So, and a way to help others jump on the positivity wagon, I like to start off by just taking a moment to just settle our energy. So I'm going to play my Native American flute for you all, and then I'm going to jump into how I started playing it and how it can be beneficial. Allow yourself to take a nice deep breath. Really just allow yourself to feel those energies. This is the beginning stages of allowing yourself to feel positivity. And by that being said, learning to listen to other spiritual presences that are just here to help balance the energy. And the way that I got connected with my native flute was I have experienced in July a concussion. So I lost consciousness, I hit my head, and I was already bound to be home. So while a lot of us out in society are just now having to take a chill pill, I have been taking a chill pill for about 6 months now. So I am definitely understanding of where everyone is coming from. I definitely know the struggle. I know what it feels like to, to have this abundance of energy that you're used to working off throughout the day, and now we're home. So for me to get back into being positive, because every day for me was a challenge, dealing with a concussion and headaches and eye sensitivity. I wanted to be able to remain positive as I could. And I was still trying to, go out and work and do events. And one of the events that I went to, I found a vendor that was a Native American vendor who had a couple of different instruments to offer and sell. So I found this flute. I just started playing it in November. So if you appreciated the little tune that I gave you, about a minute worth, I hope that you all liked it. Please put your comments at the bottom. Let me know if they were soothing sounds for you. I know that I enjoy playing it, and others have told me how much they enjoy listening to it. So I hope that you were able to appreciate those sounds. But I also say that because I've only been playing it for a couple of months, and it has helped boost my positivity, to see how much I can still put energy and effort, even when I'm just sitting still and not being anywhere. This really helps me to express my energy, relieve my energy, keep my energy focused. I really enjoyed what the other speakers were speaking about with gratitude and, defining a relationship and how you can make it fun. And I was like, oh, this is so much fun. They put me with a great group of ladies that I can really add to what they were speaking about, because it's so important to not just have intellectual mentors, coaches, people that are guides. It's also beneficial to have people that add to those services, that actually are expressive and positive about taking these avenues in life. So when Marguerite was speaking about, identifying what makes you feel special towards someone, also you can also identify what bothers you. And so when I'm out and I'm at my events, I always like to bring a slew of information, because I want us to succeed. I am a very big at knowing that we are only as strong as our weakest link. So if we are at our weakest link stage, we just have to allow ourselves to strengthen up, and we know that we have leveled up from this moment on. So some things to keep in mind, to consider for yourself, is this great deck I'm going to show. It's a little hard to show with me, but I'm going to share with you what it's saying. So these are just little quick post-it. It's just a couple of the same, but what they are, this one is a paper tantrum. So basically you check to and from what it is that, what am I feeling right now? Why is this happening? And what that other person can do, what you can appreciate for them to do to help you get out of this situation, this feeling, or this challenge. I have two other ones. This one is an awesome citation, and the other one is a WTF. And it's just, I bring them with me and I just distribute them to the people that come and visit my booth, because as a spiritual wellness coach, it's important for others to know that the guidance is going to always be given to you. It's either you want it to be given to where you can do it a DIY, or you could do it where you're getting assistance and you're allowing someone to be your reflection. This is the ways that you can stay positive, especially during these down times. We can only consider what is good for us when we consider what is bad for us. And with that is keeping yourself completely realistic. And that's where positivity will stem from, is the realistic nature. Okay, so we're all home right now. We can't go outside like that, but I still am able-bodied. I'm still here to experience. I still have other ways to still experience my life. So what can I do or say to myself or the family that I am around to help push me? You know, and I wrote it in another group that I was in, and I posted, what is one thing that you can create today that can help you be a better person for the rest of your everyday life? Just one thing. And it doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be something, it could be something small. Whatever it is, allow it to be the direction of positivity. As long as you see, I'm taking myself down this road into positivity, you're going to end up in positivity. No one knows what that positivity is going to look like. I just want to let you know that now. But your intentions must always stem from where you want your destination to look like. The most important part is the journey. And you can't plan that, but you can definitely plan what you would like to see, which is your happiness, which is your purity, which is your community. You know, I want to see nature everywhere. So I identify with nature everywhere. You see the flower I have, it was in my bouquet, but it started to not be as flowery. So I took it out, but I saved it, and then it started to dry, and look, it's still beautiful. It's still beautiful. It's just the perception that you're giving it. You know, you want to allow yourself to be positive. And if you can't see positivity right now in your day, and I'm speaking about right now, as you listen to me, as we're thinking, as I'm sharing, are you feeling positive or are you feeling negative? Whichever one it is, ask yourself why. If you like your why, amplify the why. If you don't like your why, ask yourself, why is that your why? And it sounds like there's a lot of whys in there, but if you don't try to identify with what is going on right now, it's just going to happen. There's no option to not choose. We must always choose. This is the infinite world that we live in. Everything that goes up must come down. So everything that you shoot to the side will definitely trip you when you come back full circle, you know, because you didn't pick it up and you didn't identify with it. So I want to help you identify with it. You know, I want to help you to be as exuberant as you feel that you need to be. So if you feel as though that you want to go a couple of days without doing your hair, allow yourself to see what positive thoughts can come from you not doing your hair. We're not trying to recreate the wheel. We're just trying to have fun with the wheel. Be a part of the wheel. Play inside of the wheel. You know, you don't have to just keep running. You can ask yourself, what does this step feel like? What does that step feel like? And this is where we're going to grow during these downtimes, because there's no race to getting better. You know, the world isn't going to just expeditiously be back to normal in 2 weeks. Like, hey, maybe if we just forget about everything that's happening, we're just going to go right back into our little old routines and we won't even have to act like this happened. It's not even a choice anymore. Don't even allow yourself to feel it. I don't recommend it. It's like holding on to old baggage that you know is no longer worth bringing with you. And with that being said, I want to share with you something that's so easy. I'm really big on sound healing, solely because the brain, the vibrations, they all synchronize. So the more you try to incorporate sound into your existence, the more you're going to understand where in your energy field are you being affected. So I have this great toy, and it is called my frog, and it makes a great, so little, very, very strong. One of my great sound healings. I do record these sounds, and I do have a way for you to find it. So if you want to hear more sound healing, native flute playing, you can definitely check me out on my podcast. It's completely free to listen to. It's EM Healing. And the EM stands for Elite Motivation. That's my mission. I'm here to motivate you on the most elite level that you feel comfortable at, and whatever that may be. I'm not here to put you onto a structure that doesn't own you, and neither is the world. So we want to start reacclimating ourselves to make sure that I'm owning this experience and the experience isn't owning me. Yes, there's information out there in the world, but that doesn't mean that I've been experiencing that. It doesn't mean that I can't counteract any of the poor information that's being put out there. Everything is information. Everything is for here to have a lesson to learn from. So allow yourself to hear the message. What is it that you keep hearing for yourself? A very big comment that people will say to each other during this time and difficulties is, well, you put yourself here. And we start hearing that word, well, you put yourself here enough, that we'll start getting frustrated and feel like people aren't really being compassionate towards us. And the realistic aspect is you need to ask yourself, why do I feel as though that I need to put myself in situations solely on my own? Who am I not confiding in? Who am I not being able to trust enough with my own well-being? As long as you're owning the person that you're being, we shouldn't feel shy to share it with others. I love being the person that I am. I love being a spiritual guide. I love sharing astrology. I love sharing wisdom. I also brought my crystal wisdom chart. Another thing that helps me during this time is of alone time is understanding what my energy feels like and understanding how my energy interacts with others when I slowly come into a situation to where there's one more added person or another added person. So identifying with your energy on being alone during this downtime is going to help you own the person that you see yourself being in the mirror every single day. Every day. So this is my crystal wisdom chart. I'm just shuffling it to see what wisdom that I can leave the group with. And this one fell out, which is dope. It's the Malachi Healing Stone. I am a healing machine manifesting miracles. So in order for an affirmation to be strong and powerful, you want to be able to recite it 3 times. So I'm going to recite it 2 more times for myself and for everyone listening. I am a healing machine manifesting miracles. I am a healing machine manifesting miracles. And that's the malachite stone. You can definitely go to a crystal store, find one, wear it as a piece of jewelry, earrings, necklace, anything. Even get a shirt that has a malachite stone on it. Allow yourself to start feeling the healing. And just let the love in, let the positivity in, allow the negativity to just wash away, and enjoy your downtime. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of your everyday life.
Thank you so much there. Let me start my video here. I've been having trouble with the clicker. Marjorie, I owe you an apology. I was the one that accidentally cut the video off on you. I was trying to cut off Marguerite's video there, and I made a mistake. But to your credit, you took it like a real pro. You said, hey, there's a goofball there trying to do the technical things behind the scenes. Things may not go exactly right, but most importantly, you kept in step. And I've seen people, when their slides stick on a stage, they hit the panic button. And it's not about the slides, it's about your presentation, what you got to say. So I want to publicly and personally apologize to you for that mistake, but you did a fantastic job. And I love all the messages of the ladies today. I mean, you're talking about love, and you got to love yourself first, because you can't give somebody something you don't have, and your message is very inspiring. And oh yeah, I see that. That's beautiful. That's a wonderful background you got there. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, you know, all of the messages today from the ladies are going to be on speakerspathway.com. You can go there, you can share it with others. Most importantly, be sure and get in touch with each one of the ladies. And Marjorie, before you go, would you be kind enough to let people know how they can email you, get in touch with you, and your website address, please?
Oh, definitely. You can find me, Elite Motivation 411. I am on Facebook, I'm on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, and my website is emotivation411.org.
Great. Thank you so very much. And ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time, but I just want to say to the ladies we had on the day, and you listening to us either live or be watching the video at your schedule and your time, thank you so much for being with us. Please go to speakerspathway.com. Check out the messages of inspiration and hope and support. Those speakers there have delivered fantastic messages, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you again, ladies, for being with us. You made a great show, and it's a pleasure to be host. And have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.